The Saga, A World's Rebirth. Chapter 1 The Awakening. A blurry vision, eyes reopening. A feeling of nothingness swirls down my body. Picking my head up, I see nothing but emptiness and pure white. What? Huh? Where am I? I asked myself as I got up from the ground, but I couldn't get up yet. I was still getting used to walking for some reason. Gah! I yelped as my small female purplish body slammed against the ground. I tried getting up, over and over again, yet somehow I couldn't get up on my own 2 feet, as if my 2 legs are broken or something. After a few minutes later, I was finally able to get up from the floor, stretch my violet-colored body in order to energize myself and to take my time to fully look at my surroundings, in order to process where the heck I am. The world, it looks empty and plain. Everything around me is just pure plain and fully white-ish. Is this the world I live in? I asked myself as a thought in my mind as I walked down in the search for anyone else, in order to find at least a sign to see if anyone else is here or in any other direction that I can travel to. A few hours later, oh, I started to whine and complain as I continued to do my scavenger hunt. Why can't I find anyone or anybody else here? Is there even like a single person or anything? I don't know where I am. I don't know if there's even a single life form or even another person like myself in this world. And most importantly, I don't know who the freak I am. I stopped because of a single angel-like sound. It sounded like it came from behind me. I turned around and saw nothing. Hmm, I hummed out of curiosity. I hummed out of curiosity as I looked around me, and at first I never saw a single soul or a materialistic object or thing. That was when I turned to my right, and I saw what appeared to be some sort of butterfly. It was really beautiful. It is half purple to my left and half pink to my right with sparkles on it. Hello? The butterfly immediately started to fly around with a smile on her face, making what seemed to be like a purple and pink sparkling-ish writing on the air in front of me. I looked, I took one look at it. When I read it, it said, "Hi, my name is Gigi. I am your personal guardian slash spiritual guide. You are probably wondering who you are and what your name even is, right?" The beautiful creature asked through her magical writing as I stand here in shock and replied, Uh, yeah, y- you could talk? She then said to me, "Yes, I can talk through writing. I can use my powers to do so. Your name is Anartia." Uh, Anartia? I say to this, what seems to be a highly intelligent butterfly or insect. who can, however, talk to humans and others like them through the writing of her powers. I can tell that this butterfly is a female, which is a girl, judging by her name and two colors that appears from her writing of her powers. The supernatural insect wrote down with her powers on air in a way of saying yes, your name is Inertia. You are what is called a aura story writer. What, what's a aura story writer? I questioned her at the same time while she was using her abilities to write down something again to say, an oral story writer is an imaginative story writer that can use their powers to create anything and any living creature by their desires and the greatest creative and imaginative mindsets. They were created by a species related to them, known as the Imaginers. Imaginers are powerful beings that have the powers of imagination only, called single Imaginers, and the ones that have the power of imagination and more are called beyond Imaginers. So basically, they can use their imagination powers to create anything and any living being that they imagine in their minds, in their own minds. I asked him this powerful bug as Gigi started to write on the air again and said, correct. And that means that you can also use your powers to create anything and any living being of your desires. In one condition, and that is to not abuse your power. After processing this new information, I have come to a conclusion and a better understanding my responsibilities of being a aura story writer. I nodded yes in response to what Gigi just said. She gestured for me to follow her, so I agreed. After a few days later, which felt like it was forever, Gigi started to fly over to a certain direction. Once she was at her correct destination, she started to swirl around what happens to look identical to a person. I walked closer and closer in a way of approaching the mysterious figure. This mysterious figure I approached, I realized that he was some sort of a young kid. That's what Gigi calls a Steve, but rainbow-colored skin on him. I immediately took him under my wing. After picking him up, I asked Gigi what I should do, and she said I should use my powers in my book and in my mind to reincarnate this kid and to save his life from being erased out of existence. What? I used my powers out of curiosity to create the entire world into a normal, like green nature way. Later that night, I placed the Rainbow Steve Kid on a tree before he woke up. This was after I used my powers to save his life, placing a campfire that I crafted along the way on the ground in the inner sector's middle of the protective circle that I used my powers to make in order to protect me and the kid. I felt a stick being pointed at my face. It turns out that the stick came from the kid that I saved earlier. He seemed confused and scared at the same time. Who are you? And where am I? Whoa, 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 sweetie, calm down. It's gonna be okay. I saved you when you were on the edge of being wiped out of existence. The kid looked at me, still scared and confused. What? Where is everybody? I replied to him, I I have no idea. I I didn't know there were others before all of this even started. I I was able to use my powers to recreate this world in a way of fixing this world. It starts to rain as the child gets startled by a single strike of lightning. Ah, he shivered. The poor kid was shivering with fear, so I pulled him in for a hug and sat right next to him in a way of comfort. He seems to calm down after crying and wondering where his friends are, and his two other best friends, too. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. As long as I am here, I will never let anyone or anything else hurt you or anybody else that I meet along the way of my journey. I promise. If it's the last thing I do. Both me and Rainbow fall asleep next to each other as we start as the sun sets tonight.